Bienvenidos a este nuevo programa de Hightech Chat. En esta oportunidad estamos transmitiendo desde Marbella, España, en donde se está llevando a cabo una conferencia de seguridad a nivel mundial. El programa estará dividido en dos partes. La primera estará a cargo de uno de los directores de investigación y desarrollo de una de las compañías más importantes de seguridad en este momento, llamada Kasperksy. La segunda parte estará a cargo de Dmitry Betcheyev, quien es uno de los analistas senior de la compañía, basado en América Latina, y que nos traducirá y nos llevará a todo lo que nos puede afectar en América Latina todas estas nuevas tendencias. Muchas gracias y que disfruten el programa.
El tiempo sí cuenta. Por eso, la nueva impresora color Samsung CLP 325W permite configurar en menos de 2 minutos con cualquier dispositivo inalámbrico. Conéctate como nunca antes. Accede a la red de trabajo más avanzada.
Bienvenidos a Hightech Chat. Este día nos acompaña el señor Costin Raiu, quien es el director de Investigación y Desarrollo para Kasperksy Labs a nivel mundial. También nos acompaña el señor César Bravo, quien es un experto en seguridad bancaria. Él lo hace vía Skype desde la ciudad de Managua, en Nicaragua.
Saludos, Guillermo. Muchos saludos a todos los que nos miran de Hightech TV. Saludos desde Managua.
Bienvenidos ambos a Hightech Chat.
Buenos días desde América. Saludos, Costin. Lo que quiero saber es qué consideran ustedes que son las nuevas tendencias que presentan mayores riesgos y amenazas para las comunidades de TI actualmente.
Obviously, I think we're at the point where most technology development, so most companies who create technology, they are at least even remotely aware of the importance of security. So I think that if we speak in general, most of the new technologies, they are designed at least with a remote security in mind. And to give you an example, these are laptops, for instance, laptops running Mac OS, and Mac OS does feature disk encryption. That's one example. To give you another example, the Chromebooks, obviously they're designed with security in mind. The operating system is very resilient to modifications. It's created in such a way that it can withstand conventional kind of hacker attacks. On the other hand, I think the biggest threat to security at the moment is the huge strong desire of users for flexibility. So the users are mostly concerned about doing things very easily, and generally it's quite hard to marry security with usability, and I believe that's probably the highest threat to security at the moment.
Vamos a aprovechar este momento para ir a un corte comercial. Volvemos en unos instantes.
El siguiente programa es traído a ustedes por Kodak y su nueva línea de videocámaras Vive tu vida en HD.
Bienvenidos nuevamente a Hightech Chat y a nuestra conversación acerca de seguridad corporativa y a las amenazas que nos enfrentamos en estos días.
¿Por qué crees, Costin, que estos cibercriminales están saliendo más a la luz pública en estos momentos?
Well, I don't think they have necessarily come out of the underworld, but obviously there is a increased coverage from the media towards the most recent actions of the cybercriminals, for the simple, obvious reason that criminals are now after the big target.
¿Cuáles creen ustedes de las nuevas tendencias que debe ser una prioridad de seguridad para las organizaciones, especialmente las organizaciones financieras?
Okay, so I think that first of all, it's very important to look at the current kind of attacks and to create strategies or defenses which simply block the current attacks, which are the most prevalent attacks. So with that in mind, I would say that probably in Latin America we are mostly talking about banker trojans, which are able to steal authentication credentials or banker trojans, which can perform man-in-the-middle attacks. So intercepting and hijacking the user session, for instance, and stealing the money. And the priority, in my opinion, should be first to secure the infrastructure against these current attacks, and then secondly, probably is to design more resilient systems which can protect against future attacks. And to protect against future attacks, I think it's important to look, all around the world. From a bank's point of view, it's extremely important to make sure that the servers are also protected. So, like a recent attacks against the IMF, for instance, they used a pretty simple vulnerability in the online system. So I think it's quite important to have the system secured against typical cross-site scripting attacks and other web vulnerabilities. So this would be pretty much my strategy. First, protect against the most prevalent current threats. Secondly, protect about future threats. I think that most companies, they focus their efforts in pretty much three major directions, and I would say that the first major direction is the whitelisting, and whitelisting is mostly about making sure that valid programs from big software companies like Microsoft, Google can run on the computer without any problems. And anything else which is coming from more dubious sources is properly analyzed and is running in a kind of restricted environment. So I think this is one of the major security strategies, which is having very high hopes of defending us against major attacks in the near future. The second one, which I would say it's important, is obviously the cloud. And a lot of companies have already deployed cloud protection to their users, and Kasperksy has been deploying the cloud for several years now. And we can say that for sure this is one of the solutions to the growing cybercrime problem, and one of the solutions which seems to be quite effective at fighting cybercrime. And probably the third major direction which I would like to point out, it has to deal with heuristics and with increasing the efficiency of the virus lab and cooperation between security companies. And there is a growing need for cooperation between security companies and exchanging information about attacks that can overall help our users and the users of other companies, because I think that in average everybody is winning. So it's really important to cooperate and to exchange information about attacks. And I think that overall these three major directions will hopefully make it easier for everybody during the next years.
Bienvenidos nuevamente a High Tech Chat. Sigo con el señor Costin Raiu y con César Bravo vía Skype para que sigamos conversando acerca de la seguridad corporativa.
Se habla de que cloud computing va a proteger la seguridad de los usuarios finales, ya que la información no va a residir en los puntos finales de las computadoras personales. ¿Qué opinión te merece al respecto?
I think it will increase the protection against the current generation of threats. I think that it can be apparent that the situation will get better because everything happens in the cloud, so you can pretty much throw away your infected computer and reinstall everything, and you don't lose pretty much any data. But I think here the drawback is the fact that it will open the door to new kind of attacks, and we are already seeing attacks which can also be applied to cloud computing. And to give you an example, which is quite popular at the moment in Russia, is blockers. And blockers are Trojan horses which will lock access to your computer, and then they will ask for a password and for some money in order to give you back your data. And pretty much the same can happen with cloud computing. So blockers can simply change the password to your cloud account, and then they'll ask for some money in order to give you back your data. It might simply be impossible for you to get access to your information unless you contact the cloud provider, you explain the whole situation, your password was changed, so that's quite a painful process, I think. So I think that yes, probably in average it's improving the situation, but on the other hand it's just opening the door to new kinds of attacks.
Costin, ¿crees que con el cloud computing las organizaciones van a reducir la estructura y el tamaño de sus áreas de TI?
Maybe in the beginning, I guess that is possible because at least the management might have the impression that because everything is outsourced into the cloud, then you don't need so many IT engineers to take care of your own infrastructure. But I believe that it's not a free meal. So what happens is that there will be different kind of problems, and soon they'll discover the fact that there are new issues, so like new kind of problems which need to be addressed, such as connectivity with the cloud, availability of data in the required format, missing software required to connect to the cloud, and so on. So it might be that in the beginning this could be, you might have the impression that it's cheaper, but I believe that long term probably the costs are the same.
Muchas gracias por su atención a este programa, esperamos que haya sido de su utilidad. Gracias a nuestros invitados por haber colaborado tanto. Les agradecemos su atención y nos vemos en una próxima oportunidad.